Yo, what's going on, guys? Jared here, and today I actually wanted to have a little bit of a discussion with you guys, and I want to get your opinions on this in the comments down below. And it's going to be about where Konami is kind of taking the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Currently, right? Because this weekend we are having the 25th anniversary Tokyo Dome event in Japan, in which usually they announce a bunch of products and kind of direction that the game is going for the year. It's really exciting. It's a really nice time for a lot of news, and we just got a huge news that came out recently, which I'm going to share with you in a little bit. But I kind of want to start this with the preface of, if you remember, a couple months ago, Konami actually had the stockholder meeting for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, and about how supposedly the stockholders were not I'll say not too happy in the way that the general game direction was headed, if I remember correctly. And now they are seem to be implementing changes to the game very briefly and slowly, as they usually do, to try to make up and make the game more exciting, accessible, and things of that nature. So if you guys enjoy the video, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. But let's go ahead and continue. So in the Tokyo Dome today, they announced this. Now, I know I don't speak Japanese. I know you don't speak Japanese, or maybe you do, but on Gaozo's channel, he actually covered this. Please go look at the video for more in-depth detail about this, but I'm just going to be talking about the product itself, which pretty much what this is a complete Fallen of Albaz lore box, right? So this is like 170 something cards of reprints of every card from the Fallen of Albaz lore, right? Like Tri-Brigade, Sprite, Bestial, Despia, like Ice Jade, like all of those archetypes will be in this box reprinted, and this will come out in Japan in March, or pre-order for March, and it's like just that product in itself I think is like really cool, right? This is a really cool product to be announcing for this year. And something that I think a lot of people wanted, right? Especially in tandem, which was also announced this weekend, was the anime, right? We got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypal anime, which I believe are going to be like 5-minute short stories of archetypes, right? And for any of people who have been playing the game for an extremely long time, you know how deep some of this lore goes. Like, we can go all the way back to like Marauding Captain if you really want to. But I mean, I think it really picked up lore-wise with the cards themselves around, I would say, Hidden Arsenal era, with like the things like Brionac, even Evil Swarms, all of those types of cards. Really, or like Miss Valley, all of those things have really, really cool lore to them, and I hope that we will be able to see them in this anime, in these pieces. And the animation is beautiful. I believe Galzo shows a little bit here, with like Ecclesia and Fallen of Albaz, and it looks great. It looks, honestly, this is such, in my opinion, a great step for this. No offense to, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime lovers, but for me personally, I do not want to watch a show with a world of people dueling with duel monsters, and like the world kind of resolves around duel monsters. I actually find the story of the cards way more interesting, and it's seeing it animated, even in 5-minute short stories or whatever they may be. I'm hoping some of them are longer. Just sounds way more interesting. Seeing the Fallen of Albaz, Ecclesia lore. There's one for Zeus and Typhon that looks like just a Gundam fight in space. It looks awesome. Like, there's so many of them, and I'm not gonna do research and look up the Tokyo Dome stuff if you want to see more. But this is just stuff that they've shown and announced like very briefly, and there's so many more that they announced too for the anime itself. The Melfi one too is so funny looking. But again, these are all like such good changes to me, at least, and I think this is all, I don't want to say stemming from, but I think it was at least part of that meeting that was held a couple months back, and we are finally seeing the fruits of that meeting appearing now. So there's two things I wanted to go over, but I also wanted to go over some of the products that we've been receiving, in recent times, right? So not just this product that's being released with all the Fallen of Albaz stuff, with reprints, there's also new cards in this box as well for each of those archetypes too, which is so cool, because those archetypes are very loved and beloved by players. But even the other products we have here, and so the ones that I want to go over specifically is the rarity collections. These rarity collections, especially the first one, obviously, was a huge success. Obviously, people have been craving a set like this for a very, very long time. Being able to just get all these staples that you need to play the game for any generic deck that you need, things like Talons, Ash, Thrust wasn't in there, but like Nibiru, Droll, like everything. Droll wasn't in there, I don't think, but the point is, Baron de Fleur is another big one where people who did not have access to certain cards now have access to them with the Rarity Collection. And with the immediate success of the first Rarity Collection, they announced the second Rarity Collection. And Konami, I don't think has ever announced a second set so quickly. Like ever. I don't think I've ever remembered them announcing something so quick after the success of the first one and the love and the support that it got from the player base. So I think that is a very awesome move from them. Again, I really think that they're trying to do some good PR moves here because there has been a lot of fed up, and I'm sure you've seen online, of people complaining about the game, card design, set design, which again are valid, and like a lot of them are valid, and stuff like that. I'm not going to go break those down right now, but I think that this is an awesome step for the game, and so this is great for the players who are already in the game and are really enjoying it, and now 2024 is looking very, very strong for the game wise. Then last thing I wanted to go over was ways to introduce new players to the game, right? I think that is the last thing that they are trying to hit, the last demographic that they want to hit for players. And they actually are starting that with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game 2-player starter set. I know this set, obviously, if you play the game, you probably don't care. But the 2-player starter set is actually, in my opinion, one of the better design products that they've had for things to help you learn the game. I think this is designed much better than something like the old starter deck ways of something like Codebreaker and other starter decks. I really, really did not like the starter deck method because I don't think they appealed to kind of anyone. Like nobody, at least in my eyes, buys starter decks to learn the game. You were always bought into the game by somebody else, and this, at least you can have two people who did not know the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And be together and say, hey, did you want to try this? This works. We can figure this out from here. And I think this is a step in the right direction. Obviously, it is mitigated to only include Synchro and Exceeding, but I think, in my eyes at least, in the future, I think that they will, if this product is a success with the way they want it to be, which I think it will be, because it, from the company's standpoint, it probably is the best way to teach players the information that is needed to learn the game at that level, right? Because you can't just dump 2 starter decks and give them Pendulum, Ritual, Fusion, Link, Exceed, Synchro. Like, it's just too much. So I think mitigating that to just Exceed and Synchro for this one. Okay, now you know that, you know how your deck works. Maybe you can talk to other people if you go to your game store, figure out some other stuff. And then I'm hoping that there will be a different starter set that might have like Fusion and Link, right? Or Pendulum and Link and stuff like that. And then they just break it down from there. And then you can keep, going and going and going. And they keep making these things until they cover like kind of all of the bases to learn the game. And I think the way that they did it was very cool, very innovative too. I don't think I've seen a lot of things where you have to like play along with a duel from a manga type book, which I thought was really cool. So overall, what do you guys think of the general direction that the game is taking now? Because obviously they are experimenting, right? And even in the the side decks, the side sets, I should say, card designs, not card designs, set design. We'll say ratio, right? Because if I remember correctly, the newest set, Maze of Millennia, this is a side set that has additional what's it called? Like different archetypal stuff and reprints and stuff like that. But they actually upped the number of ultra rares that you get per box to 4 now, as opposed to 3 like it was in Valiant Smashers. So I'm hoping that this is a trend that sticks around for the next deck building set, because I think that is a better and healthier way to do it. Obviously, this doesn't fix all the issues with the set design in a whole, but I think that you would have to adjust rarities for stuff too, right? But again, they are making a lot of subtle changes in set design, card design, the direction that they're taking the anime, of course, because obviously we haven't had a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime in a long time, and I know Konami's been kind of usually always has one, so this is very cool. And then with the Fallen of Albaz deck itself, this entire product for everything Fallen of Albaz, they really are getting experimental and trying new things and trying to get new interest and sheds of light into the game itself. So again, let me know what you guys think down below. There is a lot to kind of unpack here with how they are playing it. I'm really excited to see what else they announce in the future, because it seems like they are just making great announcement after great announcement after great announcement, and it's really really hyping me up for the game, because it feels like this is what people want. The only other thing that, in my opinion, that I would want is just a very easy, less sets per year. Like, that's all I want. I think there is just too much product, and it is so oversaturated with a lot of stuff that nobody wants. You know, legendary duel sets, I really don't think we need these types of sets. Nobody really wants them. They don't sell well, or at least we haven't had one sell well, except for like the one with, I think, Bakura on the front of it, if I remember right. So yeah, overall, that's going to do it for the video, for the discussion. Again, let me know what you guys think. This has been going to be a very interesting year for Yu-Gi-Oh! Overall. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.